Well, here we are on YouTube. Here you are joining us in the Welpdom right here on either Discord, YouTube, or sometimes even just Patreon because these things get blocked every once in a while. But welcome.
Yeah, thanks for that wonderful introduction, Nathan. It's good to see you.
What? Did I do something wrong?
No, not at all. No, it's it's always good to see you.
Oh.
Yeah, I look back and thought about the things we used to do. No, I look back I look back at the videos that we've done. And it's an amazing journey that we've done. And I know every time we we are introduced to a new artist to listen to or react to from our patrons, I'm always thinking, is this the last great artist that we'll react to, or unknown, or even if we know who they are? I always think, has music run its course? And we are right now in the midst of, we've done 2 parts. So come to our Patreon. So if you're a Swiftie and you want to see 2 middle-aged guys first time listen and react to Taylor Swift's Midnight's album, completely unedited, ad-free, join our Patreon at the $10 tier, and you can see our parts 1 and 2 of that complete album. We are also doing the 3 a.m. version. We haven't recorded it yet, but if you want to join us live in Discord when we do that, that's free, but it's limited space. And if you miss that, again, parts 3 and 4, along with parts 1 and 2, will be available on our Patreon forever. Eventually, yes, they'll go to YouTube, but we don't know if it's going to be blocked or not. We haven't even tried to upload it to YouTube. It's so far down our queue of editing anyways. Patreon is where it will always be available. And I say all that because I think we've given... I'm not going to... Look, let me brag. We don't often brag. I shouldn't say brag. Let's toot our own horn here. You and I gave a really fair and honest, and I think a really good discussion regarding our first time listening to Taylor Swift's Midnight's album. And you and I don't know her song. So this is like... Yeah. We went right to the end of her career, per se, like with this, or her latest part of her career.
Yeah.
And what a fun journey it's been so far. And I'm looking forward to doing parts 3 and 4 to the 3 a.m. version of the album. So what we got today, Nathan, is a Patreon request.
Well, I just wanted to jump in here
with
this
course.
One, because I think what's happening here is this individual, this is from Tal, who's requested this. And I think what's happened here is Tal is answering a question that I had, which was, why? Right. Why is Taylor Swift so popular? Because I'm somebody who doesn't understand. And I think even after doing that album, I'm still left with the question, why? I don't know if I was as swayed by that album as you were. I think you're very much more, like, I enjoyed it, but I wasn't like, oh boy, this is a musician that I'm going to start adding to my phone. I'm still not there yet, and I don't fully understand the draw quite yet. So
okay,
I'm guessing that this video is an attempt to maybe solve that or answer that question.
Yeah, so this was from Tel. He joined, or I think it's a he. I'm sorry, Tel. I think it's a he. I think he mentioned in one of his messages to us that he's like just about 10, well, he's 33. He's in his mid-30s. He's a guy, and I think he was saying at the beginning of his message with me, I don't want to waste too much of everyone's time. He just said he came across our channel because he was watching reactions to Taylor Swift, and he came across our channel. We haven't released anything on our channel yet. We just released that one video of, we're gonna take the challenge of listening to Taylor.
Yeah,
and then he joined our Patreon, and I think he liked our reaction to Midnight. So here's an example of someone who's a Swiftie, liked our reaction to Midnight, and said, "Hey, you guys." You're open-minded. He says you guys are open-minded, and you actually listen to the songs, and I appreciate that. So, yeah, he said that this video might do that very thing, Nathan. So this is on YouTube. I don't know anything about this video. He didn't give us a write-up regarding this actual video. He did regarding his second request, but
I imagine it speaks for itself. But
yeah, it says why Taylor Swift is winning. That's the name of the video. I don't even know when it came out. So.
Okay.
A better YouTube channel would know all this stuff, but it's me and you.
Yeah, it's just...
this came out 6 days ago, so this is very new.
Oh, okay. So this will potentially fill in a lot of gaps for us.
And I should say, I'm just looking at the link right now. It's from a YouTuber. His name is BlackySpeakz, and that's the name of his YouTube channel. He's got 1 million subscribers, so a little bit more than us.
just
a little bit,
just a smidge. Or
he's almost has as many comments on this video as we have subscribers. But anyways, his name is BlackySpeakz. I've never heard of this individual before. So Blacky, we recognize this is, I guess we should just say right off the top, Blacky, this is your video. So we are reacting, I guess, to your video, but also to what this YouTuber has to say about Taylor. So I don't know what his relation to Taylor is. I don't know if he's a fan. I don't know if... So I guess we're reacting to BlackySpeakz version of why Taylor Swift is winning. And this, again, was only released just 6 days ago. So again, Blacky, I hope you're okay with this, that we are reacting to yours. So all credit to you. We haven't seen this video yet. I'm just saying this off the cuff because I didn't know that that's where this video came from till just now. So, all right, here we go.
Let's do this.
Let's do it.
Now, a 19+ minute video on Taylor Swift. You better hit that like button right now because I can assure you this is a good video. I want to talk a little bit about Taylor Swift and why she's winning. This is one of the biggest artists in the world right now. I've known about Taylor Swift going on 14 years. Recently, she did some really crazy numbers with her album Midnights. I want to talk a little bit about those numbers, and I also want to talk a little bit about why she is winning. First of all, I think everybody's familiar with Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift is, of course, a 32-year-old Pennsylvania-born, Nashville-raised singer. Taylor's been a giant in the music industry. She's been around for as long as I can remember. She got her first big break in the music industry back in 2006. So she's been around longer than some of y'all been alive. In 2006, Taylor Swift dropped her debut single, Tim McGraw. Hey, this is not bad. Shit, turn that shit up. Damn, yeet motherfucking hall. Let's go, Nick. The single, which was released on June 19, 2006, ended up peaking at number 40 on the Billboard Hot 100. For the record, by the way, Taylor Swift was 16 when that record dropped. That same year, on October 24, she dropped her self-titled debut studio album. That ended up doing fairly well and honestly just positioned her in a place where, as a young artist, she had all the tools she needed to become a superstar, and so that's what happened. This was Taylor Swift performing her song Tim McGraw at the age of 15.
Oh, she's 15 now. Oh.
Album after album, tour after tour, record after record. This woman has been one of the most dominating forces in the music industry the last decade, so it's really not surprising why she's getting all this success right now. You know how they say being an overnight success takes 10 years? Meaning there's no such thing as an overnight success. There's only 10 years worth of work and then you appear as an overnight success. I feel like that's kind of what's going on here with Taylor Swift, because even as someone who hasn't really followed her career that closely, I've known the kind of numbers she's been pulling in, but it seems like a lot of people are surprised about the success she's getting now. In 2018, Taylor Swift went on the Reputation Stadium Tour, so she was doing stadiums exclusively, start to finish. The tour consisted of 53 shows. It started on May 18, 2018 and ended on November 21, 2018. The tour grossed over $345 million, which was a 38% jump from her 2015 1989 World Tour. That tour grossed over $250 million. Reputation, the album, by the way, that came out on November 10, 2017. It was her 6th studio album, and that project did over $1.2 million in first week sales when it came out. It was at the time her 5th number 1 on the Billboard 200. It ended up becoming one of the best-selling albums of that year, and this was her 4th time selling a million first week. Her album Red, that dropped in 2012, actually did over 1.2 million copies in first week sales of being out as well, and it's crazy to think that Taylor Swift was doing 1 million copies in first week sales over a decade ago. 10 years later, here she is doing the same shit over again.
Yeah, and especially in today's numbers of record sales aren't what they used to be because of streaming, YouTube. So those are very big numbers as for 1 week sales. I mean, those have been good numbers back in the 80s and 90s when all we could do was buy CDs and albums. So
yeah, to pull those
impressive
numbers in the middle of the 2000s that's phenomenal. Yeah.
About a week ago, well, actually probably more than a week ago when I dropped this video, about, let's say, 2 weeks ago, that's probably when I'm going to drop this video, Taylor Swift dropped a new album titled Midnights. This album is honestly a huge success. It's doing insane numbers right now. I can't stress it enough, but this album, man, numbers-wise, it's huge. The streams are off the roof. The sales are even crazier. The album actually ended up pushing over 1.5 million in first week sales. 1.1 million, give or take, of those sales were physical copies. Let that marinate for a second. But the album managed to push 1.2 million of those sales just after 3 days of its release. It broke both streaming records on Spotify and Apple Music. Taylor Swift's Midnight is currently occupying the entire top 10 on the Billboard.
Because people are going to be watching this video. Most likely people are going to be watching our reaction to this video of information before they hear what we have to say
on
about
the album. Yeah.
Right. So I just want to say that one of the things we brought up, the reason why we started this journey with Taylor Swift was because of these numbers. It was this kind of news or headlines that Nathan on his own was like, what is going on here? What? Like, so that's how big the news was. That people that don't know anything about her or her, her songs were gravitated towards the news of this. So this was major news in the entertainment industry. So that's how we started this journey. So this guy is explaining exactly how these numbers were so big in these top 100. Exactly what Nathan was saying. Like you told me, like she's occupying 10 and right there's proof that what you saw was true. That she was occupying 10 spots. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So, that's insane. So that's how this journey started, was because of this album success in many ways for our journey.
Yeah. Wait to listen to my question, Tal. I think you nailed.
I think Tal, and I think BlackySpeakz, the YouTube creator here, I think BlackySpeakz made this video for you, Nathan. I think so far. He watches our channel, obviously.
Oh.
He's like...
Definitely. So
Blackie's like, man, I like those guys on Welp. Here we are on YouTube, and I'm going to answer all of Nathan's questions. So let's say thank you, Blackie. We want to make sure we thank him for that. So
Hot 100 chart. By the way, the song right here, it's called Anti-Hero, biggest one from the album. This sounds really
This is a good song. I really like
it. Good, honestly. So just touching on one aspect of the album rollout, Taylor Swift did this little show on TikTok called Midnight Mayhem, where she was for a couple of weeks, slowly over time, announcing the track list to her album.
Those
and
views.
She did it with the help of... You hear the sound in the background. Ping pong balls.
First track I'm going to tell you about. Track 13.
It was really interactive, really cool to see an artist of this stature building up the hype for their album in such a casual way. Obviously, she marketed and promoted this album in other ways as well, but just her including this in the process I thought was genius, because this hardly takes any money. I mean, these were clips she posted on TikTok. Very low effort, and despite that, it still kept her fans engaged. I think an artist who's at this level actually has the luxury of doing anything really, long as they're communicating with their fans, and it'll still pay off. As far as Taylor Swift
pause
and
it again.
fans,
Sorry, there's
this
a lot
woman
going
has
on
a very
here.
deep connection.
So social media for artists now, I mean, that's because we talked about record sales back in the day, when you and I were teenagers. That's what bands would make their money from, was the record sales. They would get a portion of the cut of the record. Now those things don't happen anymore unless you're Taylor Swift, I guess, but they don't happen anymore. And they lose a lot of money so they can make money with touring and merchandise, and now with social media, it's ad revenue. So like you and I get like $10 a month on our YouTube channel. So that's the ad revenue is what I'm getting at. So when she gets 27 million views on Instagram, she's monetizing that. So when she, you know what I mean? So
that's a career in and of itself. Yeah.
Yeah. So her
Easily,
YouTube channel is probably getting the same amount of views. So she has YouTube and Twitter, and I don't know if she has TikTok or anything, but
those looked like TikToks that he was.
Oh, is that TikTok? Oh, yeah. Okay. Sorry, I'm a mini boomer. I don't know. So the point is that's how they do it, because they own that stuff, and it's just her talking, and 27 million views saying, "Hi, I'm Taylor Swift, and I'm going to talk about my song."
Yeah.
And that's just absolutely like all that money goes into her pocket.
Yeah.
It's insane.
So I have one video on TikTok that has 400,000 views, by the way.
Wow.
And all it is it's I don't want to talk about it. Anyway, the point is that it's not monetized. I'm not monetized on TikTok, but that's insane. Just by name alone, obviously. And obviously, like anyone who's a celebrity can make up a TikTok and get way more views than we could. But
it looks like not only is she doing that, they're consistently showing up, which would tell me that it's, yes, being a celebrity alone, you have to engage your audience. So it looks like she's engaging her audience in a way that they come back again and again and again, or else they wouldn't come back. It doesn't matter even who you are.
Yeah.
So she obviously does it in a way that the fans show up every time. Yeah. Correct. Yeah.
Excellent.
So there's a lot of information that BlackySpeakz is throwing at us, and I just want to make sure we comment on things. But it's an interesting video, and again, thank you, Blackie, for making this for Nathan. So.
For their fans, something I didn't really know until I was researching for this video. From the research I've done, right, I actually think this is a big reason as to why she's winning so much. She has what we call a real audience. Her fan base is really immense, and they've all really bought into her as a human on a deep level. That's why anything with Taylor Swift's name is gonna sell out pretty much every single time. The demand for her music is sky high. For a lot of people that might sound crazy, but the world is a big place and you're not everywhere. Don't forget that. Now in this next part of the video, let's talk a little bit about some of the things that Taylor Swift has actually done for her fans. Because like I said earlier, she has a really deep connection with her audience, and I think this is why she's so big, right? Over the years, there's actually been a lot of stories of Taylor Swift pulling up to her fans' houses unannounced just to give back. Here's a video on a screen of Taylor Swift randomly popping up at one of her fans' bridal showers. She couldn't make it to her wedding, so she went there instead with a bunch of gifts, by the way. She actually treats her fans like family, which is very refreshing to see, because once you make it to a certain level in the industry, most artists don't even bother going out of their way for their fans because they don't really see the point. They made it, right? So no need to. Taylor Swift, she takes a different approach.
Every song is a freaking masterpiece, and we all were speechless.
In 2014, Taylor Swift started orchestrating these fan-exclusive listening parties called The Secret Sessions. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's a listening party with her and her fans where she plays them her upcoming album. And by the way, all these fans are invited to her home. She personally handpicks the people she's going to invite through social media.
Every song, you're just like, this is my favorite. Yeah. And then another one comes on, you're like, no, this.
So I had heard, not about these fan parties, but I'd heard that this is the level of how she reaches out to her fans, that she's a very personal, person with her fans and really like appreciates their support on that kind of a level. I love that. I love that. To me, like we've said this about other artists, like just being a human being goes a long way. Even if the music isn't necessarily at the level that you personally connect with, being a human being goes a much longer way. And so I don't know, it's just cool to see. I'm glad that a lot of this is confirming just the rumors of what I'd heard about her.
Yeah, you mentioned that before. I made fun of you. I said, no, she's a lizard person. Because you said she's a human being. I think wasn't that
That's right.
her?
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I would assume the security is still pretty tight behind the camera for these fans. I know. I just what
you can't just.
I know. Yeah. It's some rando comes in. Hi, Taylor.
Yeah.
She's got guys that could break your neck in half very quickly around her.
Oh yeah.
That's very cool though. Can you imagine? Like, so what are you doing? What are you doing this weekend, Stacy? I'm just going to Taylor Swift's house to listen to her music. Oh, cool. Very funny. So what are you doing this weekend?
Her new album. She invited me.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. And I bet you she flies them out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I bet you it's not just a like, oh yeah, the people around me in California that happen to live nearby my house. It's a little bit more. Yeah, I bet she goes all the way. That's cool. Okay.
This is my favorite.
Oh, yeah, so after the first minute, I also have the trailer that comes out tomorrow.
Someone who treats their fans this well, it should not be a surprise why their fans love them so much. I mean, she's taking her fans into her home with open arms. That's a different level of trust. Shout out to Logic, who actually did something similar during his promotional run for his 2015 album, The Incredible True Story. By the way, this album right here is fucking amazing. I can't believe just people slept on this shit. Crazy. What Logic did on this particular promotional run, by the way, is he didn't do what Taylor Swift did, i.e. invite people to his home, but instead, he pulled up on his fans at their crib and played him his album. This was, of course, during his Tits promotional run. Tits, by the way, that's the initials to the album. I ain't talking about actual titties here. By the way, that project did over 135K first week. 118,000 of those sales being from physicals. Crazy ratio, right? Pay attention to how artists who have a very tight bond with their audience always seem to excel in selling physicals in comparison to artists who don't have that type of bond with their audience. I'll drop one little gem about why that's the case. If someone buys a physical copy from the artist they support, they're more invested in that artist's success than the average listener. So if you can get your fans to go out of their way and invest in your career even once, you can make them do that twice, you can make them do that 3 times, 4 times, and so forth. What Taylor Swift and Logic as well, by the way, this applies to him very much. What both of these artists have done, from day one is they got their fans to a point where they were as invested in their success as the artists themselves. They've done that in a gazillion ways, but since I don't want to digress too much, just think about what I said, keep that in mind. Now back to Taylor Swift. A couple real life examples of how Taylor Swift treats her fans. Let's go over a couple. Here's an Instagram comment from Taylor Swift from a few years back where she was encouraging one of her fans who was getting bullied at the time. Taylor dropped this really nice comment and essentially was telling her supporter, hey, there's nothing wrong with you. This is people just being people. On one part, she said, I hate thinking about your pretty face covered in tears, but I know why you're crying because I've been in your place. This may not seem so significant, but keep this in mind. Her fans are watching things like this going down, and after things like this, which by the way, this is kind of normal for Taylor Swift, and you'll see in a second, but But after things like this, they're not only fans of her music, but they're also fans and advocates of her character as a human being, because they see how deeply she cares about her audience.
It's exactly what I just said.
Pause it right here. Perfect.
Yeah.
Is that her? Can you just pause a little bit better? I want to see her.
You're hilarious.
And it's at a point like this where the support you're getting
pause it
as an artist
I might have to go back on the YouTube on the Google and Taylor Swift bikini. Okay, no, I'm just joking. She's a very attractive young lady. Okay, so yeah, where was I? I did get distracted by the bikini. Okay, just go back. Go back 30 seconds. Sorry, go back 30 seconds because I had the thought. Now it's gone because I literally got distracted by the bikini. I might get reminded again. Okay.
Okay. The comment.
Okay. Yeah. Go hit play.
Fans of her music, but they're also fans and advocates of her character as a human being.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. So when we did our first, the video is on YouTube right now of us just saying, hey, we're gonna dive into some Taylor. If you want to join us, come to our YouTube, come to our Discord, come to our Patreon to see that journey. And people were you could tell right away that her advocates were very kind, but you could tell they're like, oh, I hope you guys like her. Like you could see that the fan base was very protective of her already. We didn't say anything derogatory at all in the video, like nothing. And we don't do that anyway. We don't just go around, I wanted to make fun of Taylor. We don't actually try to elicit any kind of negativity in our channel either. We actually try to be very positive. We do make fun of some here and there, of course, but we never just attack artists. It's not unless you're somebody else, James Corden. But we don't we don't go out of our way to like
Kanye West.
Kanye West. But anyways, the point is, we don't. We didn't know anything about her, so we were totally open-minded. We didn't know what to expect either. But I could tell from the comments that her fan base was very passionate, and now again we're seeing why. That's what I wanted. We're already seeing. This is a history that I didn't know. I don't know if you knew this history. Of course, you didn't know this history. So we're seeing just a lot of evidence.
Yeah, just the hints of it.
Yeah. So again, thank you, Blackie. This is amazing. It's weird that this was released 6 days ago, shortly after you asked the question, "What is her deal?"
Yeah.
And
well, I don't think I'm the only one asking that, but yeah.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
No, Nathan, BlackySpeakz watches our channel, and he wanted to answer this for you. All right.
Because they see how deeply she cares about her audience. And it's at a point like this where the support you're getting as an artist becomes less about the music and more about the person behind the music. And that's a very powerful place to be as an artist. And Taylor Swift, she's right there. Beyond that, actually. For the record, just want to add this in. This is not something you can fake. A lot of artists try to do that, but it always backfires. So an artist can't fake, at least forever, that they actually care about their fans. There's two different types of concerns an artist can have for the audience. The first one is general concern, and the second one is genuine concern. Taylor Swift falls under the latter. She's genuinely concerned about her audience. And I'll show you some more examples of that in a second.
The public's very savvy. They'll find out.
She cares about them as people. And in return, they obviously care about her, and they're obviously invested in her success. Most artists, by the way, I want to say 80% based on the research I've done, have that general concern for their supporters. That 20%, however, who has that genuine concern, they're always going to have a tighter bond with their listeners. They're also, most of the time, going to have more emotional investment from their listeners, which in return, that's going to feed into their pockets. So it does actually pay off to be a good person. That 20%, by the way, they also nurture the relationship they have with their audience way more. Since their audience is way more connected to them, they're also more connected to the artist's success. And these are all things Taylor Swift has going for her. As for this genuine concern aspect, like I said earlier, you can't really fake it. You either give a damn or you don't. If you do, it's going to manifest itself in something like this, i.e. showing genuine concern for your supporters even when you don't need to. If you don't care, by the way, well, it's going to eventually get exposed as well. Continuing. As for this comment that she dropped, encouraging her fans.
Great insight, and I guess we should start caring about our fans.
Yeah.
Oh, I like everybody that's a part of our channel. We like you too. Is somebody bullying you? Hang in there. You got this. That's a message from us at the Welpdom.
Oh boy. I'd like to think that we do actually do those interactions. So
we do. We have almost 1,000 people in our Discord alone, and I don't think people would be joining if they didn't care about us a little bit. But
yeah, if you don't know,
we care about them.
Come check out our Discord. The Discord is really where all that happens, because that's where I think we interact the most with our fans. I'm not much on a YouTube presence. Ryan's kind of more of the comments in the YouTube.
Yeah, I just crap on people that give us crappy comments. I just crap on them back. Like, two can play at that game. No, I'm sorry.
But in Discord, I think we're able to even settle disputes sometimes in Discord as well, and have genuine conversations. So that's where it's at. If you're not a Discord person, hey,
that's fine.
We weren't either, so yeah.
It's fun. Yeah.
And there's a reason why she actually dropped this comment. Over a decade ago in an interview, she stated that she was bullied herself in elementary. Apparently the kids at her school made fun of her because she liked country music, which is funny because she spoke on this in January 2009 and said that those same kids who bullied her actually tried befriending her after she started blowing up at a young age.
Interesting.
Imagine
weird. Imagine that. Yeah.
Never seen that before. Actually, I'm obviously kidding. I got a couple of those myself. By the way, they're apparently wearing her merch, asking her to sign their CDs of her music. And that's even funnier because they literally bullied her. Again, the audacity of these motherfuckers. I'm sure Taylor Swift signed, by the way. She seems like that kind of person.
See, Taylor Swift, she's you're better than me, Taylor, because, I'm not signing shit. If you hated on me, ain't no such thing as forgiveness. I'm stunting on your ass until the day I die. What? Believe that shit.
Me stunting on my haters and...
Okay, go back. Right?
What did we just miss there?
I don't know what that was.
Let me just listen again and hear what he says.
Actually, I'm obviously kidding. I got a couple of those myself. By the way, they're apparently wearing her merch, asking her to sign their CDs of her music. And that's even funnier because they literally bullied her. Again, the audacity of these motherfuckers. I'm sure Taylor Swift signed, by the way. She seems like that kind of person.
See, Taylor Swift, she's you're better than me, Taylor, because, I'm not signing shit. If you hated on me, ain't no such thing as forgiveness. I'm stunting on your ass until...
Pause.
This must be another like artist that just...
Wait, I can't read this obviously. I stopped by one of my biggest haters' funeral today just to make sure that person was dead. So, but who's this person, the Taylor? I'm sorry. I
think he's just using this as an example of somebody who just craps on their fans or craps on people that hate them. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay,
fair enough.
The context is a little bit...
Hey, Blackie, Mr. 1 million subscribers. Nice edit job. Oh, I'm sorry.
Till the day I die. Believe that shit.
Me stunting on my haters and breakdancing on their grave aside. That's that demon in me coming out, by the way. So Taylor Swift, she's really big on staying connected to her audience. A lot of artists claim that they do, but this woman actually does. She puts her money where her mouth is. First of all, we did talk about that she's literally known for just showing up at her fans' houses. I mean, this is one of the biggest artists in the world. I don't really see artists at her level doing stuff like that. No wonder the Swifties
text her my address.
Cut a bitch for Taylor. There's also been other instances like the comment I showed you where she just pulls up to someone's comment section and thanks them for the support. Sometimes she pops up, randomly gives them words of wisdom, encourages them, like in that IG post I showed you where a fan was getting bullied. And in a lot of those instances, by the way, she's gone out of her way to send her fans personal letters, free merch, and more stuff. I want to cover this story regarding Taylor Swift and one of her fans from 2015. Back in 2015, this really cool story regarding Taylor Swift and one of her fans ended up breaking. The fan's name is Stephanie. She's out of Manchester, the UK. She saw Taylor live in Manchester back in 2015 for the 1989 tour. Stephanie at the time was struggling. She was 8 months pregnant and homeless for a period of time. Her mother shared this with Taylor Swift, not with the intention of getting anything. She just wanted Taylor Swift to make her feel special at the show she was attending. Now Taylor Swift, she heard the story, took Stephanie backstage, personally thanked her for the support she had shown her throughout the years. Taylor Swift told her, "I want you to be able to enjoy your little girl." She was of course pregnant at the time, and then she followed that up by saying that she doesn't want her to worry about any of the stuff she was going through. Guess what happened after this, by the way? Taylor Swift Batista bombed her fan. I'm just kidding, she didn't do that. Like this video was what happened was Taylor Swift ended up helping Stephanie buy a house. Stephanie made this story public years later in 2017. This story is crazy to me because Taylor Swift never made this public herself. She actually kept the story to herself, which means she didn't do it for the looks. She did it because she cares. Once again, no wonder the Swifties will cut a bitch for Taylor. Actually, they'll probably cut several bitches. Taylor Swift is also really big on doing things for the kids. She's on countless of occasions. Honestly, it was kind of hard to count how many times. Fun fact, by the way, I actually had to exclude a lot of the good deeds she's done throughout the years because I don't want to make this video too long. That's how much good she's done. She's on countless of occasions throughout the years, visited children's hospitals. Most of these visits have been surprise visits. In 2015, Taylor Swift granted a wish for a terminally ill 5-year-old. Her name was Ava Hadfield. She was a 5-year-old little girl from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, who was a big Taylor Swift fan. She was suffering from an aggressive tumor on her brain, and one of her last wishes was to meet Taylor Swift, and she did. Taylor heard about her story after it reached her management, and they set it up. Back in 2012, Taylor Swift dropped this record called Ronan. The song was a tribute to a 3-year-old whose name was Ronan. He died in 2011 from neuroblastoma, which is a type of cancer. May that young boy's soul rest eternally. Taylor Swift dedicated this record to 3-year-old Ronan after she read his mother's blog, Maya Thompson. Maya started writing on her blog as soon as Ronan was diagnosed. Sometime in 2011, Taylor Swift ended up coming across the blog, and she was so moved by the story to the point where she wrote this song. Since the record was inspired by the late Ronan's story and his mother's blog, Taylor ended up crediting Maya as a co-writer on this record, which I thought was a really dope move. And by the way, that obviously means that Maya is making some money from this song, which, I mean, that's even a doper move. Aside from that, she's done a lot of charity work, actually more than most artists in the industry. As I was doing research for this video, I was actually surprised at the amount of charity work and just generally speaking good deeds she's done. Like I said, I had to exclude a couple things just so this video isn't too long. Sometime back in 2018, Taylor Swift donated money to a fan whose mother was in a coma for the past 3 years. In October 2011, she donated $70,000 to her hometown library. In 2015, during her 1989 era, when she had just moved to New York, she donated $50,000 to the city schools. In 2016, she donated $250,000 to a friend of hers, actually, Kesha, who had just lost a lawsuit at the time. She donated the money to show support to her friend. In 2017 and 2018, she made 2 generous donations to I can't say the word, SA Foundations. In 2017, she also donated some money to the survivors of Hurricane Harvey as a helping hand. In 2018, she met up with a little boy who was a fan with autism and donated $10,000 to his family so they could get him a service dog. In 2019, she covered the medical bills for one of her 16-year-old fans who was battling cancer at the time. In March 2020, after at least 24 people had gotten killed in Nashville, Tennessee due to a tornado, Taylor Swift donated over $1 million. This is one aspect of these artists that we never talk about. Being a decent human being really goes a long way, and as far as I can see it, at least, a big part of why her fans are going so crazy for her, it's because they see that pureness in her. Every time an artist does a good deed for one of their fans, best believe that all their other fans are sitting there paying attention and taking notes. So what Taylor Swift fans have seen for the last well over a decade is her putting the fans first. She's been all about her fans since day one, and you know what? She makes some really catchy music. Shit, I'm a Swiftie too now. But the fans have seen her move like this consistently her entire career. Essentially what Taylor Swift has done, without outright saying it, is she's been showing her fans since she came in the game that she's all about them. Nothing gets in the way of her and the bond she has with her audience. In an industry where artists come and go, that's very powerful because the one thing that's going to make you stay is your audience. Taylor Swift, she knows that, her fans know that, which is why they're always going so hard for her.
These are some additional photos from that visit. Earlier this month, Delaney's mom announced the cancer had spread to her 13-year-old daughter's brain, that Delaney was stopping chemo and coming home to be on hospice care. Delaney's biggest wish was to meet Taylor, and a social media campaign got started. The hashtag Delaney Meet Taylor started trending online. Our Denver 7 viewers helped get that going, and this is the result. Delaney's mom posted all these photos on Facebook saying, "Thank you, Taylor Swift, for the best Christmas present ever."
Thanks. The funny one?
Yeah, and Jabba.
And Jabba the Hutt. Yes, oh my god. He's like, he doesn't seem like he'd be fun to hang out with.
Just from watching how she interacts with her audience, it's really clear why she's so successful. They're all behind a person who they truly believe is a good person, and I don't doubt that, by the way. I've known about Taylor Swift for the past 13 or actually 14 years. I still, till this day, I still haven't heard a single shady story about her. Her name has, of course, been brought up in a lot of different situations and stories, like the Scooter Braun Masters controversy. I paid attention to that. Overall, Taylor Swift has moved in very good faith throughout her time in the industry. She's insanely talented. She loves what she does. You can tell.
Scooter, we talked about that in our Midnight's review. Scooter's the guy that took the... He's the guy that took the
Oh,
masters from her. So
right.
she's re-recording certain albums to take back that control.
That's right. Okay, we do know about that a little bit. Yeah.
That guy. Can I just say that guy's a dick?
Yeah.
I know who you like. Yeah, I'm gonna steal from you. Like, how do people like that just go to bed at night? Yeah, I manipulated my way. I got money from her. I got it's so weird to me that people just use and abuse people. I don't get it. Okay.
That she does, and she's very competent at it. She's broken some of the craziest records in music industry history at the mere age of 32. So Taylor Swift getting all this success, it's obviously not a coincidence. All the records she's breaking right now is the direct result of the work she's put in this past decade. It's a direct result of how much she's nurtured the relationship she has with her audience throughout her time in the music industry. It's also a testament to the fact that as long as you have your fan base as an artist, you will be good. What Taylor Swift has done is she's just poured into her audience for the last well over a decade. She's very consistent too. I mean, she does crazy numbers every single time she drops. It's like clockwork. Also, the fact that she's maintained a very solid level of integrity throughout her time in industry, I gotta give it up to her. That's something I personally really pay attention to. I don't care how big you are as an artist, if your morals, your integrity, your principles, and your ethics get thrown out the window in pursuit of that success, your success, at least in my eyes, isn't really as valuable as it would have been otherwise. Which is why Taylor Swift's success, given the fact that she's maintained her integrity throughout her time in the industry, means so much. By the way, as for her album, I listened to it and I can hear why it's doing so well. Anti-Hero, which I played earlier, okay, this is the biggest record from the album. It's probably my favorite one. As you can hear, it doesn't sound too bad, right? I like this. I think Lavender Haze is another really good song, and as you can hear, this shit doesn't sound too bad. I think the way she packaged this entire album, along with the rollout, along with the high demand there is for her music, those are all things that contributed to these numbers. At the core though, this is obviously all thanks to her fan base. She's honestly killing it right now, and I gotta give it up to Taylor, man. By the way, this shit right here is my favorite Taylor Swift song right here, man. No lie, I've actually kept this on repeat for, over a decade. I mean, I remember when the song came out. Like I said, man, I might just be a Swiftie too at this point. Anyway, like this video if you made it this far. Come on now, okay? This was like a 17, 18, or 19-minute video. I'm not sure how long it'll be. Don't be stingy. You made it this far, which means you enjoy this content. Just click that button right now. I'm waiting. Thank you. Anyway, any thoughts on Taylor Swift and all the great things she's doing right now? Honestly, she's killing it. She just did 1.5 million in first week sales. I mean, clearly she's killing the game, right? She got the industry in a chokehold. She's powerful as shit, and what can I say? Curious what you have to say about Taylor Swift though. So yeah, let me know in the comment section below, and have a good day or night or wherever the fuck you're at. I'm out. Peace.
Well, first off, let's just say well done, Blackie, on that well-produced, well-edited video. Well-researched, well-spoken. Sort of a mini reaction to him. Yeah, I can see why he has 1 million subscribers and we have 5. So
yeah, that's good. Good
job,
start.
Blackie.
Good start.
Yeah, well, we got to start somewhere. So, good job, BlackySpeakz. Very well done. And boy, I was joking, but not joking. That is this video, Nathan, answered a lot of your questions. I think.
Oh, it answered, I think, all of them. If there's a question that I have left in my brain, it really is.
Blackie, are you listening?
Well, it's not one that he can answer. It really
okay.
The question is, so what do we need to listen to? Because that pieced together all of her character, which I'm so glad I've got a good picture of that now. I want to hear some of her music that got her there too, because that's the other side of it that I don't know, right?
Right.
Is what are the songs and the music that really... Like we just listened to her most recent stuff, which
that's the only one we know is Midnights. We've listened to Midnight.
Yeah, and I'd kind of like to know the journey. I'd like to know if you're a Swiftie and you're like, what's the song that they need to hear in order to to become a Swiftie? You know what I mean? Like there's always a song in every band where this is the perfect song. You should hear this one. This is the one to start with. What would that be? Yeah, that's what.
And how can they tell us, or how can they make us do that, Nathan? What is it they can do to show us?
So we're pretty busy people, and I'm not trying to do this in a promotional way. Like, I know that it sounds like I'm coming off very this is how you do it. You make no. It's just because we're busy doing this job, which is reacting to a variety of artists, and we love doing it. but our time is limited. So in order to do it, the easiest way is just join our Patreon. At the $20 tier, you can request a song. And then if that's not your thing, once we've finished our Patreon for each month, there's sometimes some time at the end of the month, and you can do that through PayPal as well. So anyway, yeah, that's how you do it.
PayPal or Patreon. Hit us up with a request via the proper tier, and we'll do it for you. Like Nathan's saying, it's not about the money, but somebody actually asked us in one of the videos or one of our comment section on YouTube, like, do you guys do requests via YouTube comments or Patreon only? My response was, if we did it via YouTube comments only, we would literally never eat or sleep.
Yeah,
we would never eat or sleep. And so it's the old supply and demand. So hit us up on Patreon. Let us know which Taylor Swift songs and/or videos and/or live performances or interviews, whatever you want us to see of Taylor, we will do. All right.
Yeah. Cool. Well, that was a great video. Thank you so much, Tal, for requesting it for us.
Tal, thank you, and Blackie for putting it together. And I hope he's okay with us reacting to his video.
Yeah,
I'm sure you'll be.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, lawsuit coming.
See you on the next one.